Hello everyone, Lorraine here from Lowe's Life and Lessons. Thank you for joining me today. Today I want to share with you the highlights of my summer, but I also want to share with you that I'm feeling a little sad. Yes, the Queen of my country has died after 70 years on the throne. Queen Elizabeth II was a remarkable woman. You can see that I'm wearing my pearls today in her honor. I don't have the 3-strand of pearls that she always wore, but today I just wanted to wear some pearls to honor her. I want to share with you my scent of the day, which is Prada Infusion d'Iris Eau de Parfum Absolue. Now, this is a version of the Infusion d'Iris Eau de Toilette that was released before this one. This one was released in 2012. This is a creamier version of that iris scent, and it has notes of African orange, neroli, iris, vanilla, musk, and tonka bean. This fragrance expresses luxury and richness. One reviewer called it a cozy, clean, fresh, and fluffy fragrance. And I would agree with that. It's not sweet. There's no sweetness in this one. It's creamy and sensuous, and it is my scent of the day. Queen Elizabeth has been a part of my life since I was 6 years old. My earliest memory goes back to the coronation. Of course, the coronation was televised, so that was a huge event. But somebody gave me a little Viewmaster, and some of you close to my age might remember that. It's a little thing that you click down, you put a little disc of pictures. It's a little round disc that you insert into the Viewmaster, and then you click down and you view the little pictures one at a time. And I had one of those showing pictures of the coronation. Oh my gosh, I must have looked at those pictures hundreds of times. I was just amazed by the beautiful white horses and the gold carriage and the glittering jewels, the beautiful gowns, all the people. It was such a marvelous event. So even though I was only 6 years old, I remember that as clear as a bell. And in 2002, I had the privilege of seeing the Queen during one of her 22 visits to Canada. She was in my city, and she was in an area that was very, very crowded. So my daughter and I were downtown. We kind of didn't want to be part of that huge crowd, so we decided to just come home, and we went a couple of blocks away to stand at the bus stop. Well, the events in the crowded area must have finished because, lo and behold, a car came driving by just in front of us, and the Queen was in that car. We didn't expect to see her, so she must have been leaving the area, right? And she looked at us, and we made eye contact, and she smiled, and she was just delightful. We were thrilled to bits, and I will never forget that moment. I am very sad. Of course, we knew that she would die soon. She was 96 years old. But you know what? There's nobody like her in history. She was a great lady. She was a dedicated and fearless leader. Millions of people in the world were affected by her, both politically and personally. And she will not be forgotten, and I, for one, will certainly miss her. I also wanted to share with you some of the highlights of my summer. You know, where I live in Canada, we do have the 4 seasons, and there's a real charm to that. But the seasons are short, and the summer goes by so fast. The summer here lasts maybe 3, maybe 4 months into September. We're approaching mid-September, so it's certainly coming to an end fast. When I lived up north in the high Arctic, the summer was a scant 2 months, July and August. By mid-September was the first snowfall, and the summers up there were amazing because, of course, we had 24-hour sunlight, and the sun was high in the sky for 24 hours. It was just amazing. I had a great summer this year. It started out in June, of course, with all the graduations. Now, my daughter, as some of you know, graduated from high school at age 45. She had a very difficult time growing up. I just can't begin to tell you all the challenges that she faced, but she wasn't able to complete her high school when she was a teenager, so She went back to school, adult high school, and she got her high school diploma this year. So, of course, I'm very, very proud of her. My granddaughter, who is 12, is on the autism spectrum. So she's had her challenges. She's been going to school in a special ed class and doing very well. Now, here, after grade 6, you change schools. So she also had a graduation ceremony. And of course, I went to that, and that was delightful. I'm very proud of her. Of course, my singing group, during the summer, any chance we get, we sing outside. We go to a public park, and we've had a few venues that we've been attending regularly, and we've been gathering. There's been anywhere from 5 to 14 of us, depending who's available on any particular day. And we get our guitars and our sheet music, and those of us who don't play an instrument, we just sing our little hearts out outside, enjoying the fresh air. So we've been doing that all summer, and that is a real highlight of my week, that's for sure. For about 2.5 years, a friend of mine and myself, he plays guitar and he sings and I sing, we got together and we started playing at retirement homes, and we did that for about 2.5 years. And we stopped and we kept in touch. We've been keeping in touch all these years. But he suggested that we get together and just have a little reunion. So we got together in the area around my apartment, which is a beautiful park-like space. It's just lovely with great big trees and beautiful green grass. And for an hour, we sang some of those songs that we sang at retirement homes, and many of the neighbors gathered around to support and to enjoy the music. So that was a very special event this summer. There's an outdoor pool, too, where I live, and a couple of times the grandchildren came over for a swim, and that's always a good time. And a couple of times friends came over for a swim. I don't swim in that pool. It's not heated, and it's really cold, so I don't go in that water. But I'm very happy that others can enjoy it, and many of the people in my building do enjoy that pool. One of the ladies in our jam group has a cottage about an hour-and-a-half drive from where we are here. And she offered her cottage to have a jam and a barbecue one Saturday during the summer. And so 14 of us gathered there. We had the best time. We were right by the water, of course. Her cottage is beautiful. The property is just lovely. And she took us out in the boat, and some of us went in for a swim. I didn't, but many of them went in for a swim. We had a barbecue. We played all kinds of music. We sat around and chatted. That was a fabulous day. There's another group of friends I have. There's about 8 of us, and we all went to nursing school together, and we are all still in this area. So a couple of times a year we get together, and we did that this summer again at one of the ladies' cottages, and we had a lunch. We went there for lunch, and we had a marvelous time. We reminisce about the old days, about our instructors, about experiences that we had. All our careers have been so different, so we share with each other memories of things that have happened during our careers. We update each other on our family situations, so that's always a great time. I always love seeing these ladies. Another special event was when I went to a movie and to a different kind of a jam with my son. We went to see the movie Elvis, and if you like Elvis, and if you like that old-time rock and roll and the whole history of how Elvis hit the scene and became an absolute icon, the king of rock and roll, I highly recommend that movie. It was marvelous. We enjoyed it thoroughly. Now, my son also is a musician, and he belongs to a jam group as well. And so these, of course, are his friends. So they would be in their 40s, maybe early 50s. Some of them I know, many of them I don't. But we went to his jam, and I joined in. We had a great time. Some of the songs I didn't know, but I'm always game to learn new songs. And I met some more of my son's friends. It was a wonderful night, and I think I didn't get home till about midnight. Wow, that's really something for me. Another adventure that I had this summer was to go to a small town, which is about a 2-hour train ride from where I live, where my grandfather was the dentist in the 40s and 50s. And the old house is a heritage house, which has been restored by a wonderful young man in the area, a builder, a creator, an artist, and he has restored it and created a guest house. This is the house where my grandparents lived and where my grandfather had his dental practice. He had a little room set aside where his dentist chair was. I certainly remember visiting that house when I was about 5 years old, and I can remember that little room with the big dentist chair in it. So I was really keen to visit the house again, and we were more than welcome. I took the train there, and my sister, who has a cottage in the area, met me there. I got to stay in that house overnight, which was a real treat because, of course, I had been there as a small child so many years ago. It was a real treat to visit that old house. It's been restored. It's absolutely beautiful. It's very successful as a guest house for people in the area, and I was very proud to be able to go and visit it again. A couple of weeks ago, we had a jam session at one of the ladies' homes. Now, she lives in a small town in the country, about maybe a 45-minute drive. So again, about 13 of us gathered there, and her neighbors joined in. They wanted to hear us sing, and they were extremely encouraging and very appreciative. So that's always fun to have an audience, right? That was a great time too. We are continuing to have outside jams. The weather is still very nice here. Sometimes we'll have to wear a sweater because the temperatures are a little cooler, but we'll continue to have our jams outside as long as we can. So those are some of the things that I did this summer, and I really enjoyed myself. I think when we have the 4 seasons, we really appreciate every season for what it gives us. And of course, the summertime is always special. What were the highlights of your summer? Did you travel? Now that we're able to travel, of course, I think more people are traveling. Do you hike? Do you go camping? I'd love to hear what you did during the summer months. Thank you for joining me. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I do encourage you to subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye-bye for now.